the Dracos and the reptilians. They have taken the information that is in essentially every school on the planet, and they've modified the information. All history documentation in this country and on every country on the planet have been given lies about astronomy, lies about mathematics, lies about technical capabilities, lies about the universe. You name it, okay? Everything have been lies. Every PhD on this planet, whether they're scientific, whether they're medical, makes no difference. Every book that they read the 6 years they were in the university are lies. They're not telling the truth. They were not taught the truth. At that time, we had 34 admirals in the Navy. All of them had been through Annapolis. They learned how to...
Round two, guys. Again, as I was in the middle of speaking, you get, hands free. You guys saw I was removed. So let's try this again. I'm not going to repeat myself. Let's see if more people jump in. Hopefully people jump in. A couple people. Let me know if the audio is good, guys. Okay, so round two. That was Mr. William Tompkins, and I'm not going to repeat myself. If you guys want to know more about him, check out the first 5 minutes of my video that just got taken off. Hopefully, again, more people will come in. This is from HuffPost. New survey shows nearly half of Americans believe in aliens. Guys, there's approximately 330 million Americans. That's a lot. That's a lot of people, guys. That's a lot of people. And again, the reason for this video is the disclosure from the DoD. It's supposed to be 1 June, but I'm hearing it's supposed it could be up until 15 June. So if you just popped in, guys, I got cut off through the YouTube gods. So thank you for coming back. I'm demonetized, shadow banned, interruptions constantly. So yeah, I do need a website ASAP. So any contributions, guys, greatly appreciated. That being said, all my videos on Patreon are not being seen. I had a couple people, one including, I don't know if she's here, Julia. So I will post the ones that aren't too controversial on YouTube. So more and more people are popping in. Again, guys, sorry, out of my hands. Let's welcome to the YouTubes. How are you, Moonchild? What's up, Billy? Yeah, they cut me off all the time. I couldn't go live for 2 weeks. But anyway, here we are. So that first clip that you heard, again, Mr. William Tompkins, I'm not going to play the whole 5 minutes again. But everything that we know is a lie. And if you just popped in, be open-minded, guys. And then after you get as much information as possible, come to your own conclusion, right? Come to your own conclusion. But in 2021, we're seeing it, again, just think 5 years ago. From NASA through Operation Paperclip, academics. More people now are homeschooling than ever before. Weather with SAIs. I know a lot of people into the Bible. They say only God can control the weather. Again, guys, I believe in God, but weather control has been happening for a very, very long time. That being said, with as far as weather, a document came out many, many years ago, and it's called "The Future Is Now" by 2025. But as I said before, before I got cut off, um, LBJ was talking about controlling the weather. So HuffPost, a new study shows nearly half of Americans believe in aliens. Pretty interesting.
Well, how many people do you think worldwide are working in your field? So in terms of about 18, 19.
Hit the brakes for a second, guys. Hit the brakes about UAPs for a second. There's a gentleman named David Sinclair, and I used to be a fan of Rogan, right? I still enjoy his commentary during the UFC, but my opinion, he was balled out, just like anybody. If your audience is large enough, you either have to, my opinion only, you either have to sell your soul, or you can't speak up. That being said, he still has very good guests on, right? And you'll learn a lot of new stuff. This is from a few years ago, but a gentleman, David Sinclair, who came up with CRISPR. To make a long story short, CRISPR is gene editing. So by the year 2030, I mean, they could do it now, obviously, but it's very, very expensive. You could pick boy, girl, eye color, height, IQ. Like, again, guys, it sounds very, very science fiction, but it's here. It's here. Just look at Neuralink. I mean, how crazy does that sound? By putting a chip in your brain, but according to Elon, this year people will be walking around with a chip, and you won't even know it. You will not even know it. But again, a lot of things that I'm going to be discussing, they sound science fiction, but I want you to hear what David Sinclair has to say. He went to Harvard. He's a Harvard professor. He owns a shitload of companies. Again, he's tied in with CRISPR. But he's also on the payroll of Uncle Sam. So, a lot of things that he says take with a grain of salt. But when you're having a one-on-one conversation with, that could go on for 2 hours, sometimes people have a slip of a tongue, and he brought up something. Again, guys, this is a Harvard professor, because as I said earlier, before my video got taken down or kicked off, they treat science like it's a religion, right? They treat science like a religion. I mean, just for asking a question, you're considered fake, and I don't like it. And I guarantee you guys watching live or later on, you guys probably have been affected, either Facebook jail, YouTube jail, etc., etc. But listen to what Mr. Sinclair has to say. Doctors, they're not kept up with literature, guys. The best way I could describe it is being in law enforcement. When you're a police officer, you go through the police academy, and every department is different. But pretty much you're done. Once a year, you got to qualify with your tool, but the laws are constantly changing. Every single year, stacks and stacks of new laws, like crazy laws. But right here, David Sinclair brings up pretty much what I just said, how doctors do not keep up with up-to-date literature. And to hear this, even though I'm not a fan of this individual, I think it's a big deal that he said that to awaken more people.
Quo. I don't know, the Thomas Kuhn's book on the structure of scientific revolutions was just had it right. He wrote in the 60s about chemistry and physics, but it applies to biology. That if you come up with a new theory that's that disruptive, the current leaders will attack you, and it's a period of chaos.
Just for coming up again, he's a Harvard scientist, folks. If you come up with new theories, your own peers will eat you alive, and that's what's wrong with society. I went to college, but in college I was picked out to do my career job, and I see it with my brother. You know, he's a sophomore in college, and the propaganda arm is so friggin' strong. And again, he's only in his sophomore year, but
and you just have to get through it. And fortunately, I'd read Kuhn's book, and I knew that this was normal. But a lot of people around me were saying, "Oh no, people are saying we're wrong, and it's controversial. We don't want to be controversial." I'm like, controversy is great. Let's do more of that. And if it's not controversial, I don't want to do it.
That is interesting. Do you think that's because the people who are the old guard are upset they didn't
what they're working on is not true?
Right. Yeah, there's an amazing documentary on the Sphinx.
so that's Mr. David Sinclair. Is the audio good, guys? I don't want to play too much of it. I don't want to be removed. How many people watching do you believe in ETs? Press 1. Press 1 if you believe. I'm still trying to figure out this place called Earth. Monica, how are you? Bill, tell him the world has changed. Susie 1, Linda 1. And speaking about UAPs, you know, people ask where they come from. I'll get into that in a little bit, but that movie from '88, They Live. This is just a question now. Why do certain people could get away with anything they want? Uncle Joey, aka Herbert. You know, you, not to make this political, but you could do quid pro Joe, right, at the CFR with zero repercussions. Zero repercussions. And again, I'm not saying that Joe is a ET, but I don't know if you guys have seen his eyes lately. Baby blue eyes, but his eyes, his pupils go totally vertical. And they constantly go black. So, my opinion, something is definitely going on with his soul. Just one person's opinion, but that's not normal to have baby blue eyes, and your eyeball actually goes black. I mean, just Earth alone, guys. Like, there are so many unknowns with Earth. Like, you know, we were told that, you know, there's nothing left to explore. We've seen it all. The Data Denial Act, which took place between 05 and 06, anything from 60 degrees north and 60 degrees south is off limits to, air quotes, satellites. And I find that just fascinating because most people have no idea about the poles, right? I mean, Antarctica is the size of the lower 48 and Mexico, if we do live on a spear, a ball, a pear-shaped, like some scientists say. That's a lot of land, guys. A lot of land that's off limits. Anyone watching, you can visit there if you have enough money, but you just go just to the tip. again, we're talking about a place that's larger than the lower 48 with Mexico combined. Like the Nazis went there in 1938. New Schwabenland. They set up a base there, and allegedly, rumor has it, America got beat. This was right after World War II, folks. Right after World War II. As I said before, you guys heard me speak about World War II. I have plenty of books up there. A couple of them are actually from college. We lost World War II. We beat the Germans, but not the Nazis. And that's a fact, guys. It's a fact. There's any weather, whatever you use, if you want to check the weather in Antarctica, most maps don't even show Antarctica, folks. Again, we're talking about a place that's larger than the lower 48. In 2017, they released 138 volcanoes. Again, guys, you don't have access to this. Everything I'm saying you have access to. What I'm saying is there's at least 138 volcanoes that they don't really speak about at all. I don't know what's there, obviously 100%, but from Richard Admiral Byrd, and exactly where Admiral Byrd spoke about the warm oasis. That's where the Nazis had their base in New Schwabenland. So that's pretty damn interesting. Again, the reason why I'm bringing up Earth, because for anyone who is not open-minded to ETs, we don't know that much about Earth, folks. Think about that one. The place where we live, we don't know that much about it. Graham Hancock, who is amazing. This was from 2019. Graham Hancock, he was he's viewer funded, and he speaks truth, right? So he was banned. He did a TED talk, and then he was banned from his own TED talk. But again, guys, I'm bringing up facts about Earth because we don't know that much about Earth. Now listen to Mr. Graham Hancock for a second. Talking about in the Amazon, right? There's the size of India that has yet been explored. India is the second most populated country, right? With 1.3 billion people, and it has yet been explored.
It's a colossal mystery, and it's one of the subjects that I explore in depth in America before. First of all, to give some basic figures, the Amazon basin is huge. The Amazon basin is 7 million square kilometers in area. And within it, 5.5 million square kilometers remains almost entirely unstudied by archaeologists. And that's the 5.5 million square kilometers that is still covered by dense rainforest. And to put that into perspective, 5.5 million square kilometers is the size of the entire Indian subcontinent. So it's like saying, we've done world archaeology, but we've just ignored India. You know, we've done world archaeology, but we've just ignored the
That blows my mind, guys. Just that one fact alone. Again, India is the second most populated country, so we're told. Imagine, who knows what the hell's out there? 5% of our oceans have only been discovered. I have an uncle. Who is his title. It's a big title, naturalist extraordinaire, right? And he sells homemade furniture from Wisteria to the high-end stores in New York City. And he lives in Hamilton, New Jersey, and he discovered a plant species just from being in the woods in New Jersey, and he got to pick the name. He actually chose the name. And again, guys, New Jersey is the most densely populated state in the country. Like, there are so many unknowns to Earth. Like, whenever I hear people talk about going to Mars, mainstream, like, I just, have to turn that off because I'm still trying to figure out this thing called Earth. Yeah, so 5% of our oceans have only been discovered. Every time a sub goes, or a research sub goes down, they discover new species. Every time. Every single time they go down. Pretty amazing stuff. Again, guys, just the things that over the past 10 minutes that we're talking about Earth, but yet you have professionals in their field telling you how old the Earth is, telling you about black holes, etc., etc., etc. But we don't have our answers to Earth. So that's why I said stay open-minded. Stay open-minded. And only 3 people, they've only have been to the deepest part of the ocean. And one of them is James Cameron. Obviously, if, anything in movie and music industry, if you're that high up, you're privy to information, i.e. Stanley Kubrick, he was one of my favorites, and since he's a Jew, he was not accepted. But that being said, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and all Full Metal Jacket, which is my top 3 favorite movies of all time. But the movie Eyes Wide Shut, that was actually filmed inside of the Rothschilds' mansion there in New York City. So he was slowly, same thing with the Apollo mission. In his movies, he was slowly putting, my opinion and many others, cryptic messages out there. And allegedly, after making the Moon documentary, he suffered major depression and all that fun stuff. But word on the street is he did not want to originally do it. And then, what do you do when the most powerful people come knocking at your door? You don't have a choice. So allegedly, that's how the Moon, you got, again, come to your own conclusion with that, but very interesting. Continuing on planet Earth, there's a YouTube channel called JTOLAN, all one word, JTOLAN Media, and then the number 1. This individual, he gets on aircraft, commercial aircraft, right? And he takes an infrared camera. For the record, guys, I am not a FE person, not iron. I'm not talking about iron. But there is zero curvature, real curvature. I'm not saying that, maybe there's some information that they're definitely keeping from the masses, but he does this. His channel is unbelievable because from approximately 33,000 feet up, again, on a commercial aircraft, he could, with infrared camera, he could see 1,200 miles. Let that sink in for a second. 1,200 miles. Again, great channel. Very good channel. Just by looking through infrared camera. Brian Cox. Let's see, where's Brian at? Come on, baby.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? A little ELO to bring us in all over the world.
That's Wayne. I know many of you guys heard about CERN, and I just recently discovered this from a scientist. He's a German scientist, Howard Villa. Howard Villa. He's a great guy, by the way. He was very vocal about SAIs and a lot of things that were happening, and he actually had some health scares, but I mean, he dropped some Moabs. And again, everything we're talking about, guys, it's open source. So, again, we all heard of CERN, but according to the scientist Howard Villa, CERN actually opens up portals. Like, it opens up portals, and if you know, here on Earth, we know from point A to point B with GPS, like mileage, right? Or kilometers. If you have your number, according to, again, this German scientist, you can directly, basically be a time traveler. Again, it sounds so science fiction. Even me saying this, it sounds crazy, but I'm giving you guys names where you guys could do your own research. But going back to the movie, They Live, they did that in the movie. They did that in the movie. This gentleman, Brian Cox, this was a clip from 2019. Not Andrew, not my words, not really, not fiction, right? Mr. Cox. He says space is flat. What the hell is space is flat? What the hell is that? What does that mean? Again, are we living in a simulation? That's up for you guys. Are there parallel universes? But he says right here, space is flat.
We always see the same radiation. The glow.
All right. Now,
But there are some
There you
deeper reasons.
been a busy day.
Sorry. My computer is going whack.
One, from the theory of inflation, the best way to explain the universe, the properties that we see, is that it's very much bigger than the piece we can see. So, for example, we measure space to be what's called flat. I don't even have to say what's called flat. It is flat. So if you imagine slice.
Space, again, guys, not me. This is one of the top scientists. Again, he's invested in CERN, and he's on the payroll of different entities. He just said space is flat.
See is that it's very much bigger than the piece we can see. So, for example, we measure space to be what's called flat. I don't even have to say what's called flat. It is flat. So if you imagine slices of space, let's imagine slices of them at different times. So you just slice the universe.
So space is flat? Pretty interesting. And then a couple more things with planet Earth, then we'll get to UAPs. There's a lot of folklore out there, right? Or fiction, so-called fiction. Sasquatch. I have never seen a Sasquatch, for the record, but I have been in plenty of places, in very rural areas. I used to hunt. I do not hunt anymore. And you definitely hear some crazy noises. Again, I have not seen one in person, but what I'm getting at is there's an entity called the Nijin, right? It's if you look it up, they call it folklore, and it comes from Japan. And there's some humanoid features to this Nijin. And in 2011, when that largest earthquake took place and the tsunami came in, there's actual footage of what people are calling the Nijin. It's pretty incredible stuff, guys. And again, if you have not seen that, I'm sure most of you have, but most people probably weren't. Some, in the comment section of the video, I see people calling it trash. I see people calling it debris. Not so much. I did a full video, a very thorough video analysis of the video, and it is a creature. Is it the Nigen? I don't know, but it looks that way. And the best way to describe it is very, very large, very, very fast, and it disappears from the human eye. And then it rematerializes on top of a rooftop. If you ever saw the movie Predator or Terminator, that it reminds me of that, right? And us humans, we let our ego get involved, and we think animals see just like humans. The human eyes, guys, the human eyes suck. Right? There's different species out there that can see in infrared, but our light spectrum is very, very limited. So as far as the animal kingdom, the human eye is not so good. Again, speaking about folklore and fiction, mermaids. Who thinks mermaids are real? I never saw one up until a few years back. Of all places, Animal Planet released a video 6 March 2013 off the coast of Greenland. This video is very, very shocking because it is humanoid. Again, they are off the coast of Greenland, and the two, I don't know what their titles are, they're some type of scientist, but the two individuals who witnessed this, I'll actually show you the video of it, they kept it to themselves so they could release the video to the masses. Eventually, the information got out, and they made that area the largest natural park in the world. Again, guys, this is off the coast of Greenland. One of the gentlemen that you will see in this video right now, it's like 60 seconds long, but you will see a humanoid creature at the bottom of Greenland. And again, this is real. Pretty amazing stuff. And also, if you have Google Earth or Pro, guys, there are so many locations that are like in the actual ocean that are dubbed over, and they don't make it look pretty, right? I mean, with technology, you can you could put together photos and a movie, and your own device will make a video for you. Like, you don't even have to edit anymore. But the question is, why do they make it so sloppy? There are tons of locations. You guys heard of the Bermuda Triangle, and lots of aircraft used to just vanish. The Philadelphia experiment. Check out these mermaids, or this one mermaid. Check out that hand, folks. Again, sorry for the quality, but it's sunny out and I had to have my light on. Check out that hand.
We're with former NOAA biologist Dr. Paul Robertson and joined by Dr. Torsten Schmidt. He was the lead geologist on a submarine crew that recorded on March 6th of this year the astonishing footage we just watched. And I'd start out some reactions. Dr. Paul Robertson.
I'd really like to see what's on that second camera.
I'm glad. I think we all do. Our viewers at home, too, would like to see that. We're going to show you that right now. Let's take a look.
Look at that creature, guys. Now look at the reaction of the two scientists. A little nervous, eh?
Dr.
No,
Robertson,
no, no. Sorry. Can we play that back, please?
can we get the footage of that back up there? Can we, in fact, why don't we take both cameras, first and second sync, and let's roll them together? Can we do that? Take a look again.
Look at that hand, folks. Once the hand disappears, look at the eyes.
You got it.
Dr. Robertson, is this the creature that you and your team found in South Africa?
From what I can see here, yes. The body recovered was incomplete. But
Look at that thing.
based on the remains that were taken.
Woohoo! Sorry. What the hell was that? A mermaid? It's saying I'm not live anymore. Unbelievable, guys. Un-effing believable. So the main question, why now, as far as the UAPs and UFOs? Why, right this second, are they going to be, like, again, over 70 years of research, people dedicated their entire lives. And that's part of the Great Awakening that I'm seeing that you know, I have friends, family who are still asleep. And when conversations come up pertaining to, you know, what's real, what's, you know, a lie, there's going to be a lot of people having mental breakdowns, unfortunately. A lot. And I'm not the type of person to say I told you so. I'm very, very humble. And, you know, I like to help as many people out as possible. And, but again, you know, ask yourself, who benefits from this? Who benefits from it? We're still in the middle of a pandemic. People, you know, depression, drug use, you know, everything's off the violence, off the charts. People, you know, out of work. So why now? Why now? I just don't understand after 70 years of not you guys, obviously, but people calling, you know, people who do this for a living. Richard Dolan, Stephen Greer. Again, I don't believe, you know, Stephen Greer thinks they're all here for love and kisses and, you know, I think that there are good entities and bad entities, just like good humans and bad humans. Dr. Carol Rosen, who was side by side with Dr. Werner von Braun, right? And everything she has said from the very beginning has been true. And she said the last deck would be a fake alien invasion. And again, myself, I believe in real ones. At the same time, we do have alien technology. Dr. Salvatore Pius, this was probably 6 months ago, and I did numerous videos pertaining to that subject. Fusion reactor, where it could fit in one person's hand. That's I think 10 times as powerful as the largest energy plant in America. And again, it could fit in a backpack. Zero point energy, where you can be flying in the air, and then you can go through the water without making a splash. Again, guys, we're not saying that these are possibly out there. They told us that they're being used. Again, type his name in, Dr. Salvatore Pius. Unbelievable. Linda Moulton Howe. I have her book. It's called Alien Harvest. Steve Quayle. I listen. Well, growing up, I used to listen with my dad whenever he was driving as a kid, Coast to Coast, and then as an adult, Art Bell, Graham Hancock, William Tompkins. There's so many great people. But why now? That's my question. Why now with everything going on? And with, obviously, is this going to be a real / fake? You guys are familiar with blue beam technology. But now, guys, with technology, they have synthetics. They have clones. In the early 2000s, during the initial phase of Operation Iraqi Freedom, they found a giant. This is all mainstream stuff that you could find. They found a giant being kicked by my dog. And they called it the giant, or excuse me, it was in Afghanistan. The giant of Kandahar. And what do you think they did with that giant? Just left it there? They brought it to the lower 48, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Guys, you could take a little bit of DNA from that and make is it the Nephilim? I don't know. But there are still real giants that are alive, that are among us. It's more of a first world issue, right? My latte got cold. There's traffic. I never believed in, privileged, but yeah, we have a lot of first world issues where people, they get pissed off with the little things. And I asked earlier, most of you guys and girls do believe in extraterrestrials. But anyone who is a skeptic, there's a couple major events, obviously. 13 March 97, Phoenix Lights. It was till this day, one of the most well-known cases, because thousands of people actually witnessed it, including the governor. And at that time, he had a press conference and he made fun of the situation. He actually brought out a person wearing an alien suit. But once he left office, he spoke the truth, and pretty amazing stuff. Again, these are just, a few cases that are mainstream. Betty and Barney Hill from 19 September 1961 here in the Northeast, I believe New England, where they had an issue. Then the third one would probably be Battle of LA, 24 February 1942, what took place in Los Angeles. It was an all-night event. There's actual footage out there that you guys can listen to. It wasn't like a sighting. We had the Army on the streets of America shooting artillery all night, guys. This happened all night. And whatever entities these were, our rounds could not penetrate through. That being said, Mr. Tompkins, the first clip that you heard in the very beginning of this video, he lived out there at that time. He was a young child, but as he as he got older, he was privy to the information, and allegedly, a few of these crafts were shot down in the Pacific, and they were captured and reversed engineer. Excuse me. Look at comments. It's a gift to be open-minded. Linda, well said. Well said. Again, we all had our great awakening at a different time, and even all of us now that are listening, you know, when I was showing that clip, I read it. I can't remember who said it, but somebody said they don't trust Animal Planet. But like I said, I did I don't trust them now as well, but I did a pretty thorough analysis of that mermaid, and it's pretty real. They did find a few fake. They did find a few dead ones off the coast of South Africa, but this was the very first alive creature that they have witnessed and documented, you know. Billy, you're live. I'm watching. My family doesn't want to face reality. I know how that is. I know how that is. That's why a lot of things could be overwhelming. So when I'm around sheep, you know, I just kind of blend in, and if they start talking whatever politics, I just inverted Earth. What's going on? He talked about the aliens here, about what is happening now. Very, very interesting stuff, man. Again, because it all ties into the Great Awakening from the Pope. You know, I'm not bashing, you know, church, guys. I'm bashing the system. You want to know real history, go to the Vatican. Well, you can. It's off limits. But, yeah, football fields of real history. That's in the basement of the Vatican. Billy says Hollywood production coming. Nephilim. And in conclusion, I guess, my opinion, it could be a mixture of both, guys. There's some footage that I haven't even showed that I have not posted. I shared a few videos of these aircraft, I guess you could call them, or motherships, but I have so much. Just again, I'm reading comments here. And the whole CERN thing too, guys, like they did an entire ritual. I mean, everybody watching this, you guys are definitely awake if you're watching now or later. But if you have not seen that footage, I mean, it's definitely a ritual. Like everything that they're doing, you know. Obviously, years ago when they did it, it just looked very odd. But now being fully awake, you're like, it's 100% a ritual. AS Tower Babel was destroyed, and I'm not going to get involved in this video, but the whole thing having to do with Afghanistan. Again, you want to get into prophecy, speaking about geopolitical mission, Babylon, the Middle East, guys. That's again not just in different books or the Bible, but pretty amazing stuff. And allegedly, Saddam found a cachet of tech. Again, I was a baby during the first Gulf War, but yeah, pretty. I mean, till this day, we're still there, right? Just reading comments. If you want to ask me anything, let me know. When I was on my soapbox. And also, guys, demonetized, shadow ban. I went live my first video. I got booted off. On this device, it's telling me, heads up, your stream may be temporarily blocked. So I don't know what that's all about. 2021. That's the thing. Everything is a script. The positive side to the script is it can be changed. It can be changed from people like you, by being awake, by sharing knowledge. I'm not saying that we can stop a event, but at least we could delay it, right? Who knows? The Great Awakening, it's worldwide, folks. It's we, comma, the people of the world. Think of all the people that are fed up with politicians. I wanted to serve our nation, but my ND 17 crippled. Yeah, speaking of serving our nation, to the men and women out there, I can't imagine serving right now under these times. I have some family that are currently in, and crazy times. Billy, the real truth has been hidden from us, 100%. I grew up a conservative, right? A military, law enforcement family. Believe in God, you know. Simple family. But once I became an adult, excuse me. Yeah, you got to see how much of the world is a stage, and anything that they're pushing in the mainstream, you want the opposite. So if they're dragging out different numbers on the side of the screen to make you live in fear, nothing I do here is for fear porn, obviously. It's to educate people and to get your wheels spinning for you to come to your own conclusion. Again, get them wheels spinning. Stop being spoon-fed from propaganda. And if you are a patron, I'm going to be just releasing the videos because Julia, again, I don't know if I did not see her in the comments, but she's having issues viewing the videos, so I am just going to dump them. I can't do all of them because of certain words, but there's a few that I could dump. All right, guys, we're at 54 seconds. Have a great day. Appreciate the chat. Hopefully this video does get uploaded. Again, the links are down below if you would like to support Reality Not Fiction. And I shall see you on the next heavily censored, shadow banned, possibly blocked video. Watch your six, guys. Watch your six.